Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update brought to you by Kraken Cryptocurrency. My name is Justin Wise. I am the lead analyst and senior mentor at KrakenCryptocurrency.com. Hopefully, you guys are doing absolutely fantastic wherever you happen to be tuning into the show and wherever you happen to be watching us today, whether that's Twitch, DLive, or here on the YouTubes. If you guys have any questions or comments during the show, throw them in the chat. I'm excited to get back to you guys. And before we begin, today's sponsor of the show is, of course, you. So if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to hit the like button. And if you haven't followed us already, make sure to follow us on the socials or subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss a stream, so you don't miss a market update. We've got a lot to talk about today. Today is Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2022, foul year of our Lord. So just a reminder out there, as traders, it's very easy to get tunnel visioned and kind of just pulled and locked into what we like to do. Sometimes we're watching the charts all day. Sometimes we're back testing all day. Sometimes we're waking up at 11 o'clock at night or 2 o'clock in the morning getting price alerts when our favorite crypto assets reach certain price targets. Maybe we're getting entry alerts from our indicator systems that we've set up on TradingView, or perhaps we're just getting a liquidation notice from BitMEX because we still have not figured out how to trade. And that's okay. Wherever you are in your trading journey, I just want to remind you that family is important and that the people that you love are important, and that trading is, although considered a solo occupation, I would not certainly be where I am in trading if it weren't for the team, if it weren't for the friends that I've made along the way. In crypto, kind of the unofficial slogan is WAG me, we're all going to make it. And so, just taking a moment, especially on a day like today, to pause, make sure that you've done the bare minimum, right? The MVP, the minimum viable product for your relationships, for the people that you love, for your families. Of course, on Valentine's Day, we're mostly talking about our sweethearts or our partners, our wives, our husbands. So if you haven't done anything, today is the day. Don't pause the stream because then I'll lose ad revenue. But after the stream, go out, get some flowers, get some chocolate, whatever it is that you have to do. And if you have done those things already, good on you. It may seem tripe, or trope, it may seem silly, but I think it's really important to do something, at least anything, for the people that you love and show them that you care, so that they'll be okay with you sitting there and, losing all of your retirement fund on Bitcoin high leverage trading. That's the only way that we're allowed to continue doing this. So anyways. Okay, so let's get to the charts. We've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk a little bit today. Obviously, we're going to mostly stick to technical analysis and looking at the charts. We'll be doing some live trading. I'll have my trades up live here in just a second. And yeah, we'll kind of go from there. So anything you guys want to look at, anything you guys are interested in, make sure to drop them in the chat, in the comments, and we will just continue flowing along. All right, let's get to the main scene. Okay. Here we are in the main scene. Let me give a shout out to everybody in the chat. I see B-Flow, Jordan Stotts, and Dave Rice so far with the chatting. Let's see here. Harry, you're alive and you're a terrible shot. Yes, I'm actually an okay shot. Shirley, you're not serious. I am. And don't call me Shirley. Hey, Jordan. Hey, Dave. Let's see here. Jordan Stotts says, JW, would you be willing to share what your end goal is as far as what amount is your goal for profit/income and what you plan on doing with it? Yeah, I guess I don't view my trading career like that. I enjoy trading. I enjoy the challenge of it. I enjoy the ability to use my analysis to actually forecast probabilities of where the market will go. I enjoy profiting off that. Excuse me. It's a real challenge and it's enjoyable. I enjoy working and with the community members. I enjoy working with the premium members. I enjoy doing the mentoring sessions. I enjoy creating content and course content. I love doing the stream, and I really like what I do. So for me, it's not. I don't have this fixed target, and I think my style of trading is different from the venture capital style trading. I'm a true cryptocurrency and decentralization believer. I'm a true believer in Bitcoin, and I think that it's here to stay. I think that one can view Bitcoin now as one could have viewed the S&P 500 back in the early days. I think that its value will continue to grow as time goes on. I think that it will improve as a protocol, and I think that cryptocurrencies will become more entrenched in our lives. I think that they will become just a bigger part of everyday commerce. We're certainly not on the scale of widespread use of cryptocurrency, but we are getting to mainstream adoption, certainly. The Super Bowl ads yesterday really showcased that. I mean, the amount of money, the amount of knowledge, the amount of interest in cryptocurrency continues to rise. But for me, it's not as if I have a goal like, I'll reach, $250 million and then I'm done, or I'll reach $500 million and I'm done, or I'll reach $10 million and I'm done. This is something that I intend to do as long as I'm able. And I'm not sure where it will transition to when I get older. When I, as the market changes and evolves. It's never really been purely about the money for me. Of course, I did get into trading because I wanted to make money and I wanted to be financially independent and I didn't want to work for anybody. And those are all still highly motivating factors for me. I've been able to successfully do this now for, completely independently for 5 years. And I've really enjoyed the show. My goals are the same as they've always been, though. I want to save responsibly. I want to invest wisely. I want to live below my means, and I want to take my excess money and invest it in the market. And I want to set myself and my family up for life. For generations to come. So I've often said this is still the case, that my long-term investment portfolio, like I started investing in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in 2016 and I haven't stopped. And that money is not necessarily for me. I view that as my 401k or my Roth IRA, for example. Of course, I do have a Roth IRA and I also have a 529 for my daughter. Continuing to grow my portfolio, continuing to grow my investments, diversifying my investments, and just building up a pool of wealth that my family can utilize for generations, hopefully, is my overall goal. Because that's how you build power. That's how you build generational wealth. That's how you build influence. Directly raising your children or those who you're going to pass your wealth on to, and responsibly growing your wealth and your capital. And, it's nice to do things that I want to do sometimes, go on vacation from time to time and things like that. All right. Scott, good to see you in the chat, my friend. Let's see here. Tic Tac Crypto says, man, I've just been getting killed trading on Deribit. Do I think it's possible to grow an account value of 0.2 BTC to 10 plus? Yeah, absolutely. So there's different strategies to do this. If you wanted to, so we call that with low capital, right? If you have a smaller amount of capital, we call that account building strategies, right? Moon and Papa calls it AB strategies, but it's a concept as old as time. What you essentially have to do if you want to build your account, if you have a small account and you want to build it, right? You have a couple of options. I think the proper way to do it is to develop a winning strategy and then execute on that strategy consistently. That's the way that I trade. That's the way that I've made my money. That's the way that I do things. You take the time ahead of time. To develop a profitable strategy. I'm very loving of indicator-based strategies, technical strategies. So I think that's the way to go. I think that they're consistent. I think that they're measurable. I think that they're repeatable. You can, of course, develop any strategy that you want. You can develop a price action strategy. You can develop a momentum strategy or a volatility strategy. You can look at sentiment data. But you need to make sure that whatever data set that you're looking at and whatever strategy that you're building out of that data set is repeatable and is accurate. And then you want to shoot for something like 60 to 70% accuracy on your trades. You can, of course, do it with lower accuracy, but if you have lower accuracy, you need to have a greater risk to reward ratio. If you have a higher accuracy, you can utilize a lower risk to reward ratio because you'll be right more often. And then all you need to do following that is manage your money appropriately so that if you have losses, you don't take big losses, and that when you make wins, you're consistently building your account. So I think the proper way to do this is to consistently grow your account, taking trades, being very diligent, doing these things, and you'll see your account balance just slowly rise as long as you're being consistent and disciplined and executing on the same trading strategy that you developed, right? Once you start to stray from that, and your results will start to vary. And then you let the magic of compounding interest do its work, okay? You let the magic of compounding interest do its work, because if you're able to grow your account, let's say conservatively in cryptocurrency by like 30 to 40% per year, the magic of compounding interest is going to start to accelerate that very, very quickly, right? And as your account gets larger and larger, those gains will compound. So the other way to do it, though, is to this is pretty simple, but you're going to have to take more risk, right? Especially if you're younger and you have a smaller account and you want to grow it relatively quickly, you just simply need to take more risk. So the first thing you need to do, though, still is develop a profitable and a winning strategy. And then one actually implementable strategy that you can do following that is that essentially, if you can get your accuracy on your trading strategy to something like 60 to 70%, right? 66%. So if you can win 2 out of every 1 trade, if you can win 2 trades for every loser that you take, okay? And if your profit target is farther away than your stop loss, okay? So you have a higher risk to reward ratio. It's not 1-to-1. It could even be 1.1 to 1 or 1.2 to 1, but the math works out the same. Then you can compound your account very quickly. If you take, let's say, 100% of your account and trade at leverage, okay? Or 20% of your account and trade at leverage. But you just need to maximize your position size. But again, when you maximize your position size, you're setting yourself up for increased return. However, you're also setting yourself up for increased risk. So if you haven't done the legwork to make sure that your strategy is profitable and successful, and then you start trading with those large amounts, you're going to start getting hit with losses. And if it's not part of your plan, if it's not part of your strategy, and it's a known, if it was an expected loss, then you're going to get hurt. So however you want to do this, the first step is to develop a winning strategy. We talk at length about this in all the coursework in the Pathways to Profit course and on the crackingcryptocurrency.com website and in the Discord. It's essentially our entire purpose is to build winning strategies. But yeah, you just need to take the time to develop a winning strategy and back test it and know that it's going to work, that it's worked in the past, and then repeat that moving forward into the future. And then, however much risk you want to take is up to you. You will grow your account faster the more risk that you take. So for example, if you use 100% of your account with like 20x leverage, you can grow your account very quickly. You can also blow your account out very quickly. So it just depends on the work that you've done and the strategy that you're trading. Peckham 08's been on a winning strategy with the NFTs. Alas, even fine wine gets yes, it does. Let's see. Okay, so been meaning to call you for your take on the drop to $25,000 levels to shake out weak hands before the rocket ship to $100,000. If you already beat that horse to death, link please. Well, I'm about to beat that horse to death one more time, so you're in for a treat. Okay, so let's get to the TA, and we'll actually cover that exactly. So, as you guys know, if you guys have been following the channel, if you guys have been following the live streams, my current price prediction and where price is at has just completed. So as we came down, so let's just go over this again. So what we've noticed is that after Bitcoin reaches new all-time highs, it has a certain pattern to its correction. All right, so we can start in 2017. So this is 2013, although it happens there too. But let's just go to 2017. As we peak and we reach our all-time high, we see the price corrects down to the 55 weekly. We're on the weekly chart, exponential moving average, and then we have a bounce. We actually have 2 bounces here from the 55 weekly exponential moving average. And then where do we find support? At the 100 weekly moving average, we bounce. We actually bounce several times before ultimately a breakdown to the 200 period simple moving average on the weekly time frame, where we actually find support. That is the macro bottom, and then we push up off again. And we can see here in the 2020 run, we actually did correct down to the 55, bounced down to the 100, bounced down to the 200 simple moving average, where we found the bottom. All right. And this is no different. Okay, so we reached a peak back in the summer of 2021, actually the end of Q1 2021, and we corrected down to the 55 weekly exponential moving average and bounced mightily, actually put in a new all-time high and corrected. Where are we at now? The 100 weekly the 100 weekly moving average on the weekly time frame. Okay, so history, price repeats in fractals. History repeats itself. History sometimes doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. And so I'm not expecting anything different this time. Okay, so we've found support on the 100 weekly moving average. I expected price to move up to our resistance zone here between $45,000 and $47,000. We actually did reach that peak over the weekend, not over the weekend, but just the end of last week when we reached that kind of daily high and then reversed and then pulled back. We did reach those faster weekly moving averages, the 8, the 13, the 21. Actually, price pretty much stopped right at the 21 weekly moving average. Just bounced up there a little bit, almost made it, and then turned right back around. And now we're consolidating underneath the 55 weekly moving average. So the price target was $45,000 to $47,000. We did that, and now overall, I'm expecting a correction where we reach the bottom at the 200 simple moving average on the weekly. That is a more than 50% correction down to the $20,000 mark. Actually, the exponential moving average, the 200 weekly exponential moving average is at 25,000. The 200 simple weekly moving average is at 20,000. Now, also keep in mind, I know that we had the March meltdown here, and it's unlikely that BitMEX melts down again. However, these things can happen. So it is possible that that's not actually the bottom, right? But that's the area that we want to begin looking. So you want to be careful leverage trading this, especially if you're looking to like catch that falling knife at the 200 weekly simple moving average, because price can accelerate much further. Overall, you're looking for price to stop there and then find a good average buy-in area. Of course, if you're buying spot, none of this really matters. Okay. So that's where we're at now. Can price continue moving up higher here? Absolutely. Let's talk about again. We've had bigger bounces off of this again. When we bounced off the 100, excuse me, let's see here, we actually put in a higher high. So here's the bounce off the 100 weekly moving average. And we just carved, in this case though, we carved through those resistance EMAs like butter. Pulled back, found support there, and pushed up higher. Something slightly different is happening this time where we're actually finding resistance. So that kind of leaves us in an interesting space for traders who want to hedge or who want to play this safely. Overall, I think that being hedged, and this is actually... Okay, so since we've had this bounce off the 100 weekly moving average and we've now finding resistance at our faster weekly exponential moving averages, I think that opening up hedges or establishing a hedge or re-adding to your hedge here is an intelligent decision. You can counter this by trading on the daily time frame so that overall, or whatever time frame that you like, but you can still be looking for those continuation signals. Or what you can do, and this is what I actually recommended the premium community this morning with my morning market analysis, is that this is an area that we plotted for. We reached our price targets. We can be out of BTC at this point in time and wait for a re-entry signal. Alternatively, if you were like me and you just hold your Bitcoin and what you do is hedge against it, then hedges can be put on at this point, and you can use the daily time frame, waiting for a continuation signal or a re-entry signal, or perhaps a primary signal if your system hasn't fired yet, and then utilize that as your exit for your hedge, or at least a signal to reduce position size, and then continue to ride that trend up as far as it can until we get to our next level of resistance or our next point of failure where we see price flag out and start to fail. Again, I don't want to be I just don't want to be overly optimistic here. Big believer in Bitcoin's price, but these things are likely to happen. So okay, so that is kind of the grand old Opry picture. And actually, let's see here. So I've made some money while we were chilling here. Okay. Life's good. Okay, we can go down to the daily time frame and we can utilize the premium indicators to attempt to get an idea of exactly what's going on here. So here we see that price broke the 26 period Donchian. I love using the 26 Donchian because it's essentially the average of price over the last 26 days. So if price is below it, we can be considered to be in a bearish trend. If price is above it, we can be considered to be in a bullish trend. And we can see the price has broke that. So we are actually in a daily uptrend. You can see here that we have put in a higher low. We have put in a higher high. I want to consider this a high. Even if we want to consider this our high, we have put in a higher high. And it appears we're going to need one more daily candle to close to confirm, but we could potentially be putting in a higher low as well. So this is kind of a pullback opportunity to enter into Bitcoin. And that's actually what I'm eyeing right now. If we take a look at our momentum oscillator right here in the form of Fisher Transform, the time transformation, which is based off Fisher Transform, we can see that essentially we've retraced back down to the 0 level, which is kind of our area of bullish momentum. So if we had approached it, if the oscillator is above the 0 line and it approaches it from above, and then we see price stop moving down and begin moving up, we can kind of consider that a bounce off of support. We can use this level, our 0 line, as support. As we can see here, very similar. We approached the 0 line from underneath when Bitcoin was in a bearish trend. As we had been moving up, we stopped moving up, price stalled out, and then we actually fell back down much further. And so really the signal though, kind of the objective signal that we're looking for in that situation is the oscillator cross, is the two lines cross here. So when the fast line crosses under the slow line, or when the fast line crosses over the fast line. And so if we want to be patient here and wait for that objective continuation signal, then it's likely either we're going to need some bullish pressure today. We're going to need to close higher than our current daily high. Our current daily high is 42,871. This is the BTC USD contract on Bybit, where I do just about all of my trading nowadays. So we can wait for that crossover. It might not happen until tomorrow. Now, if that happens, let's say when we're going to need another up candle for it to happen tomorrow. So if that does happen tomorrow, let's see where we might be heading just in the short term using our take profit program here, Quadrigo. So that would have us looking for, right now at current prices, take profit targets of 44,479. So looking up to 44,480, 46,300 and 48,300. All right. So essentially kind of laddering up into this previous level of support turned resistance that we just kind of rejected from right here. All right, so daily time, so weekly time frame, we're looking at a point where we want to be hedging or taking precautions. On the daily time frame. Again, we just talked about this, right? We could use our daily continuation signals. So again, if you want to take no action here, and again, we still have our BTC USDT long position open that we actually opened down here based off the idea the price was going to bounce off the 100 weekly exponential moving average. So that's totally fine. So you can wait to hedge. You can wait to see how this current signal plays out, this current pullback on BTC plays out. You can wait for the oscillator crossover to actually give us the objective signal to go for a continuation long and look for higher prices from here. You can see prices pulled back down to our baseline, which often acts as support. You can see here that just price has been moving down in an uptrend, which is just a pullback opportunity to get in. So, and we can also see here that Parallax, which is kind of our long-term trending indicator, is bullish as well. So we did finally flip bullish on this uptrend. So we had all of the signals kind of fire here. We actually got the long signal from Parallax, and we could have gone long here on a trend trade, on a trend following trade strategy. Okay. Now, we did get the exit signal from time transformation right here on this red candle. So we avoided the majority of this pullback. And now we're looking for an opportunity to get back into the upside, which would, again, just pointing this out, negate the hedging idea from the first segment on the weekly time frame. It would negate the idea to be having to take a short from this level and actually be looking for higher prices. Now, one thing that I like about all this is that looking at that pullback, if we look at the 3-hour time frame, we've got a couple of things going on. First off, we've got the super duper DEMA strategy. This is one of our automated strategies that we have running all the time. Caught this long signal from here and took this trade all the way up. Beautiful trade, made some money off of that trade. And now we can see that we've fallen down below the super trend on the 3-hour time frame, and we've got overhead resistance up here at around $43,600 to $43,700. So about $100 range of resistance right here. We can see that that does correspond here with this high volume node utilizing volume profile visible range. And basically what price is doing right now is consolidating between that and this high volume node. All right, so we're bouncing from support to resistance, from support to resistance. And as we can see here, it looks like we're rejecting. So I'm actually in a lower time frame short right now. We'll get to that in just a second. But again, the hypothesis was, and I was eager. I was watching this for about an hour this morning, just before the show. I was looking for price to make a breakout above this level so that I could take it right here, as you guys can see, essentially right here to this low volume node right before this high volume node begins. Okay, I've talked about this a lot with volume profile visible range. If we see a big chunk on the, sorry, you guys can't see this very well. Sorry, if we see a big chunk on the volume profile visible range, that is a train station, right? And price is the train. When price reaches the train station areas of high volume, it tends to consolidate and hang out for quite a while. However, if we look at these areas of low volume, these are called low volume nodes, and these are the train tracks. And when price reaches these areas, it tends to travel through them quite quickly. So we can see here, we're in a high volume node, and price in this range has not really moved that much. When we break down or break out of those high volume nodes and into the low volume nodes, we just cut through them like butter. So that's really the trade setup that I'm looking for, this breakout trade on the 3-hour time frame, which would be the continuation trade for the daily signal. All right. So if that were to happen, I would have taken the daily long, and I would have also taken this 3-hour long up. However, we always want to be careful when we're longing at resistance and looking for that breakout, because more often than not, we fail. And that's what we've currently done right now. So one possible thing that could happen here is, and we often see this, so going for that breakout, we actually pull back down to this red line, which is the point of control. It's the area of most traded volume in this range. And then we can try to take the long from there, which would give us a better entry and also let us manage our risk more. We could set our stop loss right below the bottom. Excuse me, this is kind of messy, but right here, essentially right where this high volume node ends and into this low volume node, because we know that if price hits that low volume node, it's likely to move all the way down to this high volume node. So protecting our risk and not needing to stay in that trade like that. So To recap, potential setups that we're looking for is the breakout of this 3-hour range, taking price up here to below this high volume node, and simultaneously using that as an entry trigger on the daily time frame to kind of take a longer position where we'd actually be looking up to the $46,000 range for our profit targets. Otherwise, in the trade that I actually took, once I saw price fail, and we'll go down to the 5-minute time frame to see this, we saw price fail, and so I can also expect the price will at the very least come down here to the point of control, and I can also hold my position open just in case price does break this low volume node. Then I could take my profits all the way down here, and then potentially be looking for that long back up to the middle of the range or the top of the range, or again looking for that momentum short should unfortunately price break down and we just have a total breakdown of price in this area, which would be, if that were to happen, we'd likely be getting a super duper DEMA short. Right now we're in no man's land because we're above the 200 double exponential moving average, but we're below the super trend, so no trade zone for the super duper DEMA strategy. But we can just see here from the 3-hour structure that we've reached resistance, and so when we reach resistance and we're trading in a range, shorting is usually the best idea, and so that's the trade that I'm actually in. All right. So we'll remove those and we'll go down here to the 5-minute time frame so we can kind of see this in more clear. So we've had a lot of volatility today on the 5-minute time frame. We can zoom this out. We could see that, yeah, price has moved pretty violently multiple times. So some good trades in here. We do have the momentum oscillator ISA spot right here, which has been picking up these bottoms really nicely. So we've taken a few trades off this. This portion, this strategy is automated for me. So let's go through here. Yeah, so just zooming out here. We can see here that price is consolidating in this low volume node. So we are picking up a position, and something that Alex told me that I really like is that the strength of a trend is directly proportional to the period of consolidation or accumulation or distribution that followed it. So if there's a long period of distribution, then price can collapse for a long time once that distribution ends. And if there's a long period of accumulation, then accumulation can continue, or that if price breaks out, then price can continue trending for quite a long time and reach really high profit targets because there was a long period of accumulation. So it's going to take longer to sell off the rest of the proceeds. So for this, very similar to the 3-hour time frame, we're seeing the same thing here. So we're consolidating in this gray box, and let's actually turn this into a green box just so I can see here a little bit better. Yeah, so we're consolidating this green bordered box, and we're kind of looking for price to break above this convincingly, not just a wick above. We can see the first fake out here, but that was before the range was really established. We can see this fake breakout here. And every other attempt to break above this resistance level has ended with wicks and just liquidations. So we don't want to see that. We want to see a strong candle body close above resistance right now, around 42,700. And then at the very minimum, we can look for this trade right here. We can look for price to appreciate 1% and enter this high volume node up here. All right. So all of those signals we could use as kind of the breakout trade and the reentry trade, but we're not really getting any of that right now. We just had price fail one more time, and price has pulled back. Okay, so we're going to keep our eyes on this relatively closely. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and close my short here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm trying to get it closed. There we go. I got it. All right. So we're actually going to go ahead and take a long here. Yeah. There we go. And we're going to set our stop loss right here, 42,420. Okay. And let's see here. And we're gonna shoot for 42,655. We'll see if this is a good trade or a bad trade here in a second. So we'll shoot for 42,655 and we'll close the long there. So pretty tight stop loss. So we'll see if this was the bottom of the range. Now, whether I'm right or wrong, let's talk about why I took that trade. Again, we're just constantly building a narrative, right? We're building a narrative that we can trade off of and that we feel comfortable with, okay? So daily time frames in pullback mode, and we really are looking, I mean, the overall trade that I want here is the breakout trade, right? So we see price down here. We've seen price correct. We're maintaining above the Donchian, so we're above. Parallax is maintaining, and we have this crossover that's threatening, right? So we do have this continuation signal. All of these things lining up really good. Now, oops. That's not what I wanted. Remove drawings. Getting down to the 3-hour time frame again. All right, we can see here that we did really want this breakout trade, right? Price is consolidating in this area of resistance. Okay, price is consolidating in this area. Excuse me, not of resistance, of support. Okay, so we've had a nice run up, right? We had this big. This is really kind of what's holding it on for me. We had this nice big breakout candle, right? Now, this was just a good breakout trade. I always say this. If you're looking for a breakout, you want to see a nice big green candle that has a few wicks above and below. You want a nice, almost shaven candle, right? Which is, or a bull candle, whatever they want to call it. But very little wick, all right? And big volume. That's a nice big breakout. It's very convincing. And we really kind of want more of the same here. We want a nice big breakout candle. I do like this consolidation. I do like the fact that just high volume node and price is above the point of control. So we've retraced most of the way there, and we'll see if this is far enough. Again, you guys can see that I am really angling for the breakout trade. I want the breakout trade. And then on the 5-minute time frame, we've got a couple of things. We do have our shorter exponential moving average trading above our slower exponential moving average, which lets us know we're in a bullish trend. And usually my day trading strategy is going to incorporate some form of pullback when I see that happen. All right. So we've got, so right here, when we get this kind of golden cross, when we get, this is the 50 and the 200 exponential moving average, we're looking for pullbacks, right? And so I use my momentum oscillator to kind of help me out there. And we'll see here in a little bit if this is a good or a bad trade. But we can see here that my momentum oscillator is getting relatively close to oversold territory down here. And so that's what I'd like to see. It's not quite there, but it's a decent pullback, and we'll see how price treats us here. Another thing too, and I'll pull this up. So this is just some analysis tricks I learned from Bennett. So we're going to look at CoinGlass right here. Coinalyze is good too. Coinalyze is free too. But this is Bybit, and we can utilize this to look at open interest, which is very important, right? So we can see that funding is positive. It's not super high. Funding's not super high. I don't really care when anybody, we can go to the 30-minute to see how funding is not really super high, right? So funding's not super high, which means that the majority of the market is leveraged to the long side. But we can also look down here and see that as price is moving down here on the 1-minute time frame, open interest is dropping, right? So if you see price dropping and open interest dropping, it's a sign that the trend strength is not really there. You want to see open interest moving in the direction that price is moving to let you know that there's fuel for the fire. If you see a sudden, and here we go, this is kind of cool here too. We can see this sudden drop in open interest. And usually when you see a sudden drop in open interest, you can see, you'll spot a reversal, right? Because that means a lot of positions had to close out. So we'll see here. Might have been a little too early with this one, but I'll just keep kind of chucking along. Okay, let's take a moment and look at the chat. Okay, so what's up with this emergency Fed meeting? I'm laughing so far. Well, we are going to see how the market responds. I do kind of want to pull. All right, so let's go look at the let's see here, the 14th. Commercial paper at 1 p.m. Foreign exchange rates at 4:15. Well, okay, so we've only got here. What's Bloomberg's live right now? So shouldn't it have already happened? The commercial paper announcements at 1, which already happens because it's 11:46 my time and I'm Mountain Standard Time, so that's Eastern Time. It's 2 hours ahead of me. I mean, listen, there's only two options, right? So if we're trading into a high news day, then either the Fed is going to announce an emergency rate hike right now of, let's say, half a basis point. That's kind of what we what. So the bearish outlook is that they're going to do in March, that they're going to do half a basis point, right? The conservative estimate is, of course, that they're going to stay on track with a quarter basis point rise. So either they're going to come out and say that they are immediately raising rates, or that they're going to decrease that. Either way, an increase would likely mean that the market moves down in the short term, and a decrease likely means that we see a mega pump. And I think that we're probably going to get stopped out on this trade. Should have just held the short open. Peckham08 asks, is that a double wick top or a tweezer top? Tweezer top's a little bit different, and I know that I said that. You didn't say tweezer top. Why are you putting words in my mouth, Justin? Oh my God, I just asked if it was a double wick top. All right. So typically, I mean, it does look like a tweezer top. So right here, we can often see, usually a tweezer top is almost the exact same height, and these pretty much are the exact same height. And we can see that kind of play out too on the LTF. So we can see that big wick. This is the move. So I actually was watching, and then I saw this move, and it was this move that made me take the short. All right. So yeah. So we tested resistance. We see here once, twice, 3, 4 times. So again, what I like to see for a breakout is I'd like to see price stay above that point of control, or at least stay in this high volume node range. And then we could take the next 3-hour pullback. That's kind of the idea here. If this long trade fails from here, then to take the long from this range. And still, again, this is what I want, right? This is the move that I want, right? This is the move that I want. That's the trade that I want. So because that would mean, what that would mean is that on the daily, that we're going to get this, right? We're going to get this crossover, and that would imply that we're going to get this, right? Probably a higher high, which would be great. I love it when Bitcoin goes up. It's a lot easier to trade to the upside. It's more difficult to trade to the downside. Okay. And yeah. Yep, that was our stop loss right there. Okay, let's see here. Maybe perhaps unsure. I do type relatively fast. So we'll see here. I might have got stopped out just to actually be right, and then price continue to push up. We'll see. My new camera adds 10 pounds. That's good. No, that's cool. Have you guys ever seen a beach ball? You know how big a beach ball is? They're about this big. You know what I'm saying? All right. Not hawkish. That's eaglish. Tic Tac says, I have been eyeing 52,000, would take out a lot of shorts and also be a good place for a fresh short. That would be good. So 52,000 would be a higher high than this, and that would be about 4 ATR, 4 to 5 ATR. This is 3 ATR. So it'd be about 4, 5 ATR. It'd be about 5 ATR above where we are right now. I can get down with that. So essentially we'd be looking for something like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a bit much. That's a bit moon boy right? That's a bit moon boy right there. Like, you know, looking for that. Maybe something a little bit more like this, right? Maybe something a little bit more like that. It's a little less moon boy. We'll see. Okay. All right, yeah, cut through that low volume node real fast. So this should be made, yeah, so this should be made. This is the setup that I'm eyeing on Woo. Woo is up the most. So it's actually, Gala and Woo are the two hot coins on Bybit right now. They've had nice bounces off the bottoms here. So I'd really like to see some good continuation out of these coins. Let's go to the daily here. So we can see just a nice, right now, the daily really looks good. You know, we've kind of broke down to this consolidation range, push up, down. And I would really like to see a nice, this is basically a triple bottom right here. I would like to see a nice move out of this. Excuse me. And again, Gala is a little different here because Gala has already had a push up. So this is very much like Bitcoin, consolidation, push up, pullback, right? Whew. But I didn't call it an Elliott wave, all right? I didn't call it, but I didn't call it an Elliott wave. Okay, so carved through that real fast. Now we're getting pretty close to the oversold threshold. Let's see. Yeah, see, open interest arose right here. And yeah, I think we're going to see, yeah, big spike in open interest just opened up there. So I think we're going to go ahead and take another long here. Seems to be the right thing to do. Let's see here. Yeah, I like that. Took out any stop losses that would have been right here. Point of control. H bar is going for it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Let's get zoomed in here. It's a little much. That's a little too much zoom. All right, so let's do... Let's do 42, 110, 50. Yeah, that worked. Yep. Okay. So we don't yet have what we need for that daily long. And we don't have what we need for that 3 hour long. So we're right in the middle of the range now on the 3 hour time frame, and we can see that this is the 5 minute time frame. We've got that nice big spike right here. So we're going to look for this. Look for this to this. Okay, back up to the lower time frame point of control. Back up essentially to the top of the range. That's really what I want to see again for this breakout trade. That's the trade that I want. We'll see if the market gives it to me. And in fact, I do really want that. So 43, do 43,268. $43,267. I'll take $43,267. Okay. Let's get back over here to the chat. Let's see here. Thank you, Kozelka. I really appreciate that. Yeah, you know, I took a sabbatical, and I spent a lot of time with my family and moved to Colorado, and yeah, things were good. And I really, you know, I'm just really grateful to everybody for keeping things going, keeping the community alive, and we're back. So we're going to be doing this. Joe, if you're on the lower time frames, it kind of seems like a king here is a reversal trade. Well, okay, so I already screwed up once today. You know, I guess depending on how you want it, I screwed up because I was right? I took the short right after this movement right here, right? Actually had kind of the pre-warning right here. So we had my ISIS bot like tell me to sell here, and you know, price continued to trade in that range, but we can see the divergence. See how price is kind of like slowly moving up, but the oscillator is moving down. So we have divergence there. And once I saw this stop loss hunt right here, price shoot up, because I was looking for a long, like I'm still looking for a long. I saw price shoot up here. And once I saw it fail, like I was excited because I was like, man, if this closes green and strong, then that's it. We're looking for this breakout trade up here. But it didn't, completely broke down. And then right here, I took the short, closed my short right here and looked for the long and got stopped out. Had a really tight, but it was a very tight stop loss. So that's what I actually lost only like $250 there. So yeah, now we'll see again. Kind of got the oscillator here. We'll just see if I catch knives throughout today's trading session. You know, I had a pretty good, like last week. Last week was really good. Let's see, I made like $4,500 last week, so that was a good trading week. So I'm okay. I just have to trade. That's all I have to do. Just trade. And I think this is going to be fun. I want to do more trading like this. I think people enjoy it. I think it's a little bit more like live stream friendly, rather than just talking about the daily or whatever. Plus, the premium members are going to get those signals anyway. So the premium members get the trading signals. The premium members get everything. So, but if we were looking for, so I mean, in what direction? I mean, we can go for the reversal trade here to. Again, I think again. So my eyes are still on this breakout trade, breaking this range, trading up here, and actually getting the continuation for the super duper DEMA strategy once we cross the super duper DEMA line right there, or the super trend, excuse me. Because again, that sets up the daily pullback continuation trade, and that sets up the continuation trade on the 3-hour time frame, and that is a breakout of the range here on the 5-minute time frame. So let's go to, yeah, and we've got the order. Yeah, the order book just turned really bullish. So we'll see. It's a little bit of a battle. But let's go to CoinGlass and see. Yeah, so we had so right here, we can see this big drop in open interest right here. So we go from 752 million to 743 million. So that is a 1% drop in open interest. That means a lot of individuals got liquidated. We also know that too, because we know that funding is positive. Funding is positive, so that means that the majority of traders are leveraged long, not leveraged short. Doesn't mean that there's a long to a short, but it doesn't mean that that's that there's an equal number of short traders to long traders. So when the majority of the market is long, when we see drops in open interest, we can assume that that is longs getting liquidated. And when a lot of longs get liquidated, where does price tend to go? It tends to go up. We had what do you call it? I don't know. What do you guys think about the Bitfinex hackers that have finally been tracked down? This is the funniest thing, and I might make a YouTube video about it here, but it's been awesome. It's been awesome. I guess reading about these two, I mean, some of the most colorful characters I've seen in quite a while. Now, I do know that, and I don't believe that, and this is the theory that I currently agree with, I do not think that the Bitfinex hackers, right? So we've got, what's her name? Razzle Khan and Ilya Lichtenstein. I don't think that they performed the hack. I think that they purchased the funds at a discount from the hacker after the exploit was carried out. Seems to be the most common thing to me. Because again, the hacker was relatively smart. Like he knew that it was going to be very hard to launder those funds, and as we can see, it was very hard to launder those funds, and they got busted. All right, so 2 losses today. So far, I'm just not getting what I want. There was more open interest drop right there. That's pretty good. let's go look for... We've got Spa Coin. Make sure to treat yourself well. All right, so let's see here. Overall, still a positive day for the market. Saitama continuing to pump, up 10%. Yeah, so Gala and H-Bar, kind of the big trades for the day, I think. Here comes the 11 a.m. drop. Ooh, yeah. Good call. Good call, Andrew. Did you see that? Yeah. Ping. Let's see here. Yeah, Gala turning around too, along with Woo. Good thing I didn't take this yet. That's okay, though. All right, so do we stay in this range? Do we stay in this range, or do we break down from this range? What do we think? See, every time, did we? Yeah, pretty much every other time. So, yeah, we'll see if we can trade just a bit below it before we try to catch a knife again. If I have one more losing trade, I have to stop trading for the day. Very different. Let's see here. Inverse head and shoulders on the daily. Like this. Oh, I see what you said. Like big, big, big. Yeah. I don't know. I guess you could use this as one shoulder. Yeah, but that, I mean, then that's, I think that would be relative. I think that'd be a pretty obvious trade. Like if price goes all the way back up to 60, like everyone's going to be kind of expecting that breakout trade or a triple top. All right, daily just turned bearish. You know what that means. So yeah. All right. Let's go to boom, and I want back to the 3-hour time frame, reset. All right, there we go. So essentially we're looking at extensions here. There's other words as well, or other ways to call it too, but we can see here, we've got a high volume node. And any extreme beyond that high volume node has been the area to enter. So we can see that there, we can see that here, 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 and hopefully here. So essentially, the premise is the range trade, the price will stay in the consolidation range, and we can move from the bottom of the range here up to the top. And in fact, I actually have my target still up here at the bottom of this high volume node. So if price is able to break out, we're going to enter this low volume node and move up to this area right here. So I've got my stop loss placed essentially right here at the bottom of the 3-hour range. And we're going to look for that trade. So that should be pretty close to what I want. So yeah, about 1.68. Okay. So that trade, if successful, would make up for the previous two. But I would still need another winner today to be green for the day. Oh, the first one I started with a smaller one? Okay. All right, so now I can see what you're talking about. Head and then shoulder. So neckline right here. Yeah, that's a cool trade too. Like, let's say we get a big green candle right here. Then that's going to be the crossover. That's going to be Paralock staying bullish. That's going to be us staying on top of the baseline. And that's a continuation trade in my strategy too. So, yeah, that would be a good trade too. And then the normal way to take that trade would be to set your stop loss here and shoot for 3 to 1. There's that 52,000 that Tic Tac was talking about earlier. So that's pretty cool, actually. Now, assuming, but if we take it here, all right, if we take it preemptively here, just like on this pullback, then we're looking at something different. Then, yeah, we're looking at managing our risk here and looking for 48,000. Throw that whole 60 on there so I could see it dumping down to there for a baseline bounce. All right. That is going to require a correction of 7.24%, my friend. I need Bitcoin's price to slide 7.24%. So I'm going to need you to just take that trade idea and run far away from it because we need the long to work out here. Profit Bear, who's been a YouTube member for 14 months. Thank you so much, my friend. He says, "What's up, fam? Thank you for all the knowledge." Thank you, my brother. Highly appreciate the support, and thank you so much for being a member on the stream. Andrew's success comes purely from the 200 on the daily, above long only off corrections, and below short after corrections. And then we'd be looking for a short right here. He says, "Yep." All right, guys, I will be right back. I'm going to go grab something to drink, and we'll continue the stream. And we're back. Pull in the 4 hour and 1 hour for execution. Key levels off your fib. Wait for your algo to fire and then enter. This looks like an 886. That's a 786. Let's see, when's the last time? Would have been here. Yeah, it would have been on this move right here. So we got this oversold on the ISA spot. Yeah, all these times weren't as dramatic. Order book's pretty bullish here. Yeah, like this area. This is a double VWAP bounce too. Yeah, almost. Double VWAP bounce would actually be down here at like 41,601. Let's flip this to Heikinashi. Let's see here. We had a trade here, good trade here, and then here was a good trade as well, following that divergence. Here. Let's see, the last time we had a good up trade would have been right here. Yesterday, around noon. Traded below the second standard deviation on the VWAP. Got that divergence confirmed on this candle. And that led to this movement right here. About a 1% trade. This one led to, let's see, what do we get here? About 0.5%. This one was a fail. And this one led to, so far, about a 2% trade so far. So, yeah. And that's what I like. Nice big buyback. Order book was quite bullish. We now got that buy signal here from ISA spot. And yep, we did just trade Just traded a little bit into the low volume node, below the high volume node of the range. Again, order book's still pretty bullish here. And we're pretty much at the bottom of the range on the 3 hour as well. So it's still a big setup. Again, looking for that trade right there. But that's the trade. That's what we want. I think we were a little, yeah, we just caught right here. So 2 falling knives today. Just too early with it. We were looking for those, you know, we were looking for that breakout. We wanted to see price break here and travel through to hit this low volume node. We just didn't get it. Didn't get it quite like that. We'll see if we can get it here. Otherwise, things are looking kind of grim. Yeah, so the breakdown here, breakdown out of this high volume node is pretty much nothing until this range right here. So breakdown, pullback, short, breakdown, short the pullback to the bottom of the bottom of the high volume node. Take profit once we reach support at the top of the high volume node, and then we just gotta wait for a setup. Not really getting the follow through yet. What's the opposite of follow through? Down through? You know what I mean? Like lack of through, no throughput, downput. I do like this increase in open interest right here. So double bottom right here. See if we can get, and then again, nice buy volume coming in right here. I do like that. Let's see if we can get a higher low, then a higher high. And we could add on the next pullback. Breakdown, more like a pull through. I can never find it. Where the, okay. There it is, magnet. Let's just, I'm hoping not this, right? I'm hoping not that. I'm hoping this. What I'm hoping. Yeah, so that would be good. That doesn't surprise me. Not on Woo. Let's see. Yeah, we're getting sell signals on Link and Phantom. We had just a bunch of winners right here. Winner on Sand, winner on Alice, winner on Adam, winner on Axie Infin AXS, winner on Shiba Inu, winner on H-Bar, winner on Omisago, and one loser on Luna. Use the Schwartz. Yeah, we got a short on Phantom and Link. So I like that. So Phantom and Link are like all the super duper Demus. I have my super duper Demus strategy fully automated. So it takes all those trades regardless of what I do. And that's good counter risk because I am long on BTC. And I think if we slide this down, we'll see what I really did want to see that breakout right there. That would have been really good to see. And the daily is just still in such a good spot here on Woo. Gala is good too. Gala, pump up, pull back. And a nice correction here on Gala. What is that? Anyways, curious. Yeah, right there. So if we get another, that's not what I want. If we get another pullback on Gala, we'll have a pretty good buy zone. And if we break 32.63, we'll have a continuation trade. Not a continuation, well, you know what I'm saying. Because we've already had a push up, pull back, so kind of looking for continuation here. Yep. Bitcoin doing the thing, following that buy signal, looking good. Use the Schwartz. What is the name of the indicator on the right with the volume candle? So that is the volume profile visible range. I've done a lot of videos on it. It is a fantastic indicator. It can let you know where there's going to be resistance. There's going to let you know where there's going to be support. It also lets you know what areas are likely for price to move through quickly and what areas is price likely to be sluggish through. So in general, and it also shows you where the most volume traded by price is. So all it is, it's the volume. It's volume on the right side of the bar. So instead of volume by time, which is your typical volume indicator at the bottom of the screen, it's volume by price. And I think volume by price is a lot more interesting. It's important to the trader. You want to know, okay, well, we know that trades occurred here, but what level is most important, right? Where do traders enter the most? So what area is likely to be defended? What area is likely to be abandoned? Thank you, Ditsia. I appreciate that. Good to catch up with you as well. Force move up, Schwartz move down. So B-Flow, by the way, I have, and I'm going to test this week, but I think I figured out how we can get around that via 3 combos. So how do I have it automated? I just coded my own backend. in Python. But it's really easy to go from PineScript to Python. There's actually a converter online, and then you just got to do some basic stuff. And I'm no Python like killer, but yeah. But in Bybit, okay, in Bybit, if you go to, and here, let me see. In Bybit, if you open up the menu on the right-hand side of the screen and you click, so there's a gear icon there. So on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see like switch trading mode. You can switch to 3-chart mode, 4-chart mode. And then there's the option for light mode. Right above the option for light mode is a gear icon. And you'll see the first option is position mode. And you can switch position mode from hedge mode to one-way mode. Hedge mode means if you're on, and this is, I'm talking about the USDT contracts. Hedge mode means that you can be both long and short at the same time. And remember, the error from 3 commas was saying that you can't do that because hedge mode is enabled. So I'm thinking if we switch it to one-way mode, then it might work, which is pretty cool. So I haven't tested that yet, but I think that that might be correct. Or how we could do that. Hot dog. R. Alex81SG says my Steema, we'll call it the Steema, 45-minute fired off on what? I definitely don't think so, Dave. I don't think that Alex is an OG bro. He's a premium member. I don't think he meant to say ho. I think he meant to say how. I think that was a typo. So I think that was just a misunderstanding. Took a scalp, it looks like chop markets. Justin? Yeah, okay, so it is, right? We're trading in a range. So that's essentially the tale of today, right? So it's a 5-minute chart. We can see this, right? We can see this on the daily, right? The last 3 days have just been range. The daily shows you what you're going to see on the 5-minute chart, right? So 3 small daily candles with wicks to the up and down side means a tight range. 3 hours shows that more granularly right here, and the 5-minute shows it very granular. So again, I was looking for we had been in this range for 3 days now, so I really was looking for the breakout because I'm looking for that 3-hour continuation. I want to see price above 43,600 so we can get so that we can get continuation longs on the super duper DEMA. But didn't really have any trades here, so coming down to the 5, I got to trade today. I don't have to, but we're going to trade today. It's all good, man. Sorry, Alex. Sorry, Alex, for the misunderstanding there, my brother. So the trades that we have kind of on the table now are like, again, I had the right idea. I was short at the top of the range, and I should have just rode that short down to the bottom of the range. But I caught 2 falling knives in today's session, here, and then I got re-long here. So I am long, and we're going to see if we can't take price back up to the top of the range. Now, if that fails, then we're looking at this. We're really looking at this breakdown of 41,300, then it's pretty rough. And we're looking at a pretty big short, down about a 6% correction, which B-Flow, we just talked about. That's going to be that pullback, shake out the weak hands, and take the long from there, right? We just talked about, you just mentioned that. So that's the trade. I always find that taking breakdown trades is a little rough. So I like to take the pullback. So I'd wait for the pullback and then take the short down is what I do. That's what we're gonna do. Sounds naughty. Coding back. You know what I'm saying. So okay, who got the best Valentine's Day present for their sweetheart? Let's go. Come on, I want to know. Yeah, so right now we're taking a pretty long trade. By long, I just mean like we're looking for this, right? We're not really trading on the 5 anymore. We just got our entry on the 5. So we'll see. I want to check in with, what do we got going on here? Checking on the Phantom network here. So we got a bunch of boo here. Boo has increased. Interesting. This looks like Tomb got dumped. Did it? Yeah. Zoom out. Man, Tomb is rough, man. Tomb had a big drop, big 50% drop over the last month. SPX bounce, BTC follows. B-Flow says, I got a feeling that's going to happen because I've held through a lot of those where it dumps all the way down just below the 60, then I close it, and then it rips back up to the upside. Yeah, it happens, man. All right, so profit... I'm sorry, I didn't mean that to sound like... I mean, it's happened to me a lot, too. Yeah. Profit Bear got the wifey a new hair straightener. Okay, good. Practical. I like it. Cornholio seems like he got his wife AVAX. All right, good. Could have been could have gone with like something sexy like Phantom or Cum Rocket. You know what I mean? Decided to go with AVAX. All right. B-Flow bought the wifey her favorite Vietnamese food, dropped it off at work because apparently the card and gift I gave her this morning were not well received. Could have been what I wrote in the card. I'm no Don Quixote. Maybe maybe he meant a vax. Yeah, I got my wife the jab for her birthday for Valentine's Day. You know, just figured we just get it over with. Okay, I like this. Nice pullback. Let's see if we can get some continuation here. Yeah. Open interest rose. Open interest kind of flat right here. Want to see open interest rising. Yeah, nice big drop in open interest though right here. I like this is the big thing for me. This right here. This drop in open interest right here. All right. You know, we kind of want to be careful here. Open interest staying flat. That's not what we want to see, really. Let's zoom out. Let's zoom out and see what's going on here. Yeah, so open interest basically falling since right here. And we can see here, in general, been in an uptrend. Open interest has been basically in an uptrend throughout this consolidation period. So we'll just keep range trading it until the range breaks. That's what you do. You're in a range, you range trade until the range breaks, which means you either short high and cover low or buy low and sell high within the boundaries of the range. That's what we do. All right, let's see here. Got the stop loss placed. Thought I had the stop loss placed. Whereas I do not have the stop loss placed. Good thing I caught that. So okay. Okay. There we go. I think the music died, didn't it? Yeah. Bo is good, man. Oh my God. All right, let's go over and look at H-bar. Yep, that's what we want. So the daily. Hey, Scott, thanks so much for the $5, brother. He says, stupid, happy, and fun watching a brand new live from the Trade Master J. Much love, fam. Thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate that. When Justin stops talking and I have to pull up the window to make sure it didn't break. But it's just Jay thinking. Yeah. Hey, ETH1, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, just looking for a setup here on H-bar. I do think I'm going to go in. Yeah, I'm going to go in. 23055. Okay. And we want, so that's right here. Yep, that's right here. And we want, two, 3,925. Okay. So it took a long trade on H bar there. H bar, Gala, and Woo were all on my watch list today. And I haven't gone in on Woo yet. Or Gala. But anyways, daily here on H bar. Again, market's been reversing. We've had nice uptrends, so we've had this nice pullback across most of the crypto assets. I'm holding above pretty much 50% of the push up here. We're coming back to previous resistance here. Throw VPVR on there again, coming back to this nice high volume node here. Not too much pressure down here. And I'm not using, I'm not using the like I don't need to see more H bar price action. I don't care. When it comes to things like volume and volume by price and support and resistance, it's recent history that matters. It's not support levels from 10 years ago, or 2 years ago in this case. It's the market reacts on recent data more often than not. Anyways, we come down into 3 hour. Again, good volume on this push up. Good volume on this push up. So nice pullback. Again, we can see it a little bit more granular here, finding support. Got a little bit of bullish divergence here from the universal oscillator, Eller's universal oscillator. DPMOLB turning bullish here after a while. We've got bullish volume from the Weiss wave volume indicator. Come down to the 45-minute time frame of VPVR. Again, we can see right here, price in this range. Nice consolidation, nice little bit of accumulation right here with increasing divergence. Here's that divergence playing out on the lower time frame there. So all this divergence right here, I wish I would have caught that. And then this nice push up. And yep, TPMOLB positive, come down to the 5. Again, we can kind of see that. I think it's clearest on the 45-minute though. So we've got nice big volume spike right here, and that's where price just retraced to. So we'll put our stop loss on the other side of that high volume node, basically right here, and look for that push up. I'd really like to trade. I mean, I'm just going for the top of the range for a 2-to-1, but I should really be going for like a 4-to-1 here and looking for that breakout of the H bar range is what I probably should do. So I think I will. I'll just move that target up to 24620. A little bit below that. 24540. Yeah, so we will go for basically 5-to-1 on that trade. All right, Bitcoin's still in the lower half of the trading range right here. We can see here the point of control basically right in the middle, 42,344, not making a lot of headway so far. But we will just be patient and vigilant. All right, Molia 76. SEC hit BlockFi with a $100 million penalty given 60 days to comply with a 1940 law. Let's see here. All right, guys, I got maybe 15 minutes left in the stream. Today's Valentine's Day, so I'm going to peel out early. I'm going to take my partner to lunch. All right. Okay, so here we have the article from Politico. SEC states hit crypto lender BlockFi with $100 million penalty. The SEC announced the settlement the morning after a Super Bowl broadcast that was chock-a-block with expensive ads for crypto exchanges and trading platforms. The SEC accused BlockFi of defrauding investors and selling billions of dollars in unlicensed investment products over the last 3 years. Interestingly enough, this article came out at 10 o'clock my time. So basically, when the fucking downtrend started. The SEC and 32 states said Monday the cryptocurrency startup BlockFi will pay $100 million to settle charges that it operated an illegal lending business and what officials call the first of its kind crackdown in digital asset trading. The SEC said its $50 million piece of the settlement was the agency's biggest penalty yet against the fast-growing cryptocurrency industry, which is the subject of growing scrutiny from lawmakers and regulators. Blah, 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 blah. Defrauding investors and selling billions of dollars in unlicensed investment products over the last 3 years. Okay, well, then you think they care about a $100 million fine? Under the terms of the settlement, BlockFi agreed to stop opening new lending accounts to U.S. customers and to register a new product known as BlockFi Yield as an SEC-regulated investment company. They cooperated with the investigation. Today's settlement from Gary Gensler, scum of the earth. Today's settlement made clear that the crypto markets must comply with time-tested security laws, such as the Securities Act of 1933 and the Investment Company Act of 1940. Well, this sounds like Tether, doesn't it? Its claims about the safety... Listen to this. How scummy is this, though? Its claims about the safety of the reserves backing its loans were often misleading and overstated, according to the SEC's enforcement order. Okay. Where are the reserves backing... what about the reserves backing most commercial paper? It's called fractional reserve lending, people. Now, this is really good, though. I like that. Despite the hefty civil penalties, BlockFi celebrated the SEC's order for giving it a path forward as a regulated entity. Yeah, existing U.S. customers will be able to transfer holdings from their BlockFi interest accounts to the new BlockFi Yield product once the company completes its SEC registration product. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think that's good. So let's see here. So that would have been 11. So 10 my time is when that came out. Right here. So here's when the announcement came out, or at least that Politico article. And chunk. Chock-a-block. Profit Bear says, Justin, so I sold my Crow at 56 cents USD now. I sold it into BTC. Should I buy back into Crow or should I just ride it with BTC? So I sold my Crow at 56 USD. Now I sold it into BTC. Should I buy back into Crow or should I just ride it? Well, okay. So if you think that, if you think, it depends on, I mean, listen, there's a lot of ways to take this, right? This is always a cool question. Like, first off, we need to go back to what your trading strategy was with Crow in the first place, right? Like, why did you purchase Crow? Personally, I think Crow is good. I hold Crow. Crow is a long-term hold for me. As long as crypto.com is doing well, I'm going to continue to hold Crow. I consider it like these things are going to become like registered securities, the same way that like company stock is, in my opinion. So a company that issues its own cryptocurrency, if the company does well, then the crypto will likely do well, especially because in most cases, like with Crow, it opens up incentives and new features on the platform, right? So discounts on trading fees and things like that. So if you, okay, I see here. Because when I bought in, Crow was 2 cents, so I made my money. So you've had a fantastic trade, yeah. Okay, so you've taken your profits on Crow. So what you want to do is you want to open up the Crow chart, right? You want to open up like your weekly Crow chart, and you want to mark out. So here, we'll just do it over here. Okay, so here's the Crow chart, and we'll pull out the weekly. Oh, let's get more. Let's get Crow USD. Probably on Bittrex, yeah. Okay. So Crow USD, and we want to mark out either with VPVR or regular support and resistance. We want to kind of mark out areas that we're interested in reaccumulating Crow at. So at what price could you buy Crow and be happy to hold it, right? Well, obviously, I would say anywhere in this range, I would be very, very happy to hold Crow. All right, so we're looking at potentially a 80% drop. We could pick up some Crow there. Other places that I would be okay with having and holding Crow would be here, like there. And yeah, we can mark some more of this out. Now, what you can do is just set price alerts. Just right click right here, set an alert, right? And then just don't look at Crow again until it reaches one of those price targets, all right? Until you get to the retracement that you want, and then reinvest back into Crow. Always stick to your trading plan, even when it comes to like long-term swing trades. So when you purchase something and you establish a target, right, roll with that. So Crow doesn't look necessarily super attractive to buy here, right? It's quite high relative to historical price. So, and we seem to be in a downtrend that hasn't changed. We haven't gotten a higher high or a higher low yet here on the weekly. So yeah, I would chill. You know, if you hold your funds in Bitcoin, they're going to decrease less than anything else, and they're going to, but it's also going to increase less. But it's a less volatile, it's a less risky asset to hold than shitcoins. So I would recommend just holding in BTC until some trade condition that makes you want to re-enter into Crow appears, whether that's your price target or whether that's technical analysis on, like, let's say the weekly or the daily, right? Where you get like a trading signal on the weekly time frame. So if we just look here, so here's a pretty good example. We get this is a losing trade, but then right here, we get a beautiful long signal right there. And we get an exit signal here. And that's like a 182% trade. We get another signal right around here. Here, actually, yep, on this candle. And that leads to another 50% trade. Let's see here. And yeah, so here's the most recent one. We get those long signals right about here. And we get a little bit of a pullback, but I mean, yeah, that was a big one. About 200% trade. And just now getting the exit signal. So even if you entered here and you're exiting now, 157%. Hard to sneeze at that. Whatever I do, don't take her to Chuck E. Cheese. I will absolutely not. I hate it when they can move the markets with those news. I mean, it's not necessarily that they're moving the markets, I don't think, in that case. I think that's just, you know, the market responding. Or maybe they just really hate us because a lot of newbies might have bought cryptocurrency yesterday off of all the Super Bowl ads, for example. Yesterday was a huge day for crypto. And then they released the negative news because they need to dump all that on somebody. Such is life. Such is life, people. Dr. Faz, good to see you, my friend. The BlockFi got hit with a $100 million penalty by the SEC for their yield programs, for their interest-bearing accounts. But that's okay. They get to restructure as an SEC-regulated opening, and all's well. I will rephrase that. They sold products that we weren't smart enough to figure out how to tax because we thought crypto was like Beanie Babies. Yeah. All right, so Bitcoin's still consolidating in the lows here. Hedera hash graph, we took the long right here, going pretty well. So we'll just be patient for all these positions. And that's pretty much it, guys. So yeah. Decred, Saitama, and Spa Coin, big gainers of the day. HBAR, Mina, and Gala kind of holding up the rears. And this is after the correction. This is after the correction that we just saw throughout the day. So overall, today's afternoon trading session didn't do too hot. Caught two falling knives, unfortunately, just on the wrong side of the trade. Even when I had, again, I was originally right, and I did short here, but I just should have held. But I caught two falling knives, and I really shouldn't have, right? I was looking at open interest, thought I saw something over there, and I didn't. So managed my risk, didn't lose too much, and we got into the H-bar positions here on the pullbacks, and we got into Bitcoin on the extreme deviation out of the range. Again, we really are looking for that daily continuation trade because we've had a nice daily pullback and we are bullish. Everything's bullish here. 3-hour time frame is flat, so we're not in meso trades. But again, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for this breakup, looking for this breakout out of this range through this low volume node. And for taking profit right underneath this high volume node right here, just kind of sneaking like a ninja there. And then ultimately, I'd like to see the super duper DEMA give us a long signal here, which would also be coinciding with continuation on the daily time frame. We'll be setting up for a lot of long positions here. So I was long biased coming into the day, and we were trading here when we started trading. I thought we were going to break to the upside. We did not. We broke to the downside. Well, we didn't break. Sorry, we just went up to the top of the range and traded back down to the bottom of the range. So that's fine. So we scooped up long positions right here as price deviated outside of the range. And now we'll look to take price back up to the top of the range. And actually, I'm looking to take price again up to my original target, right around $43,000. Looking for this long trade. So about $100, about $1,000 swing here is what we're looking for. And got it in the pullback on H-bar as well. Now, if we don't get that maneuver, if price does not break, if price breaks down out of this range, then we are looking at a big 6 to 7% retracement. So be watching that. You can take the breakdown trade, but you have to be liberal with your stop loss. You have to put your stop loss up here. Right? So if you enter as soon as price breaks down, you got to put your stop loss up here. If you wait for the pullback and then enter here, then you can set your stop loss right here. All right. So either way, breakdown, we're looking for price to go down to 38,671, the minimum. Break up, looking for a first stop at 43,300, give or take. And then ultimately looking for a higher breakout. And I'd like to see price. You know what? That 52,000 is starting to look kind of sexy. That does go against my original idea of wanting to hedge and be short here, though. So we'll see. All right, guys. With that being said, we'll slide over here to the main scene for our goodbye. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me for another exciting episode of the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update, brought to you, as always, by Kraken Cryptocurrency. If you guys have any questions, concerns, sarcastic remarks, hot stock tips, and or death threats, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. Every comment you leave does push us up in the algorithm, helps new people find the channel, really does help us out. So I'd really appreciate it if you just take the time to leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already, or follow us if you're watching on DLive or Twitch, and make sure to give the video a like. It really does help us out. If you want to support us even more, or if you want to trade on the exchanges that we're trading on, bybit.krakencryptocurrency.com is the best exchange. That's the one that I trade on. It has the lowest fees. Links are in the description down below. You can use whatever exchange you're interested on. There's links down in the description that help the channel out and help you out. If you guys are interested in improving your skills, if you guys would like access to our premium indicator suite, our online educational platform, our online trading academy, where you can learn to trade exactly the way that I do, the way that all our traders do, you can check all of that out, as well as access to our buy and sell signals and our premium community. You can find all that information out at premium.krakencryptocurrency.com. Links in the description for that below as well. Again, thank you guys for joining me. It's been a fantastic stream, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Trade safely.